have always been learning languages this way. Nowadays, I think I have the confidence to tell you that I am good with English. Coucou tout le monde, c'est Eva et bienvenue sur ma chaîne. What's up you guys, it's Eva and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have already watched my video, you already know that je suis une étudiante de la langue de français et j'ai commencé à apprendre le français en septembre de l'année dernière. Je l'étudie à l'Université des Affaires étrangères de Chine. Et voilà. So yeah, I am a student that majored in French, but English has always been a very important part of my life. No matter it's in daily life or hobbies or study, it can't be ignored. So I think the first thing that needs to be defined is that what do you think language is? I mean, we can't just forget about everything that we are currently facing, no matter it's like 高考, college entrance examination, or IELTS. Let's just forget all about that and think about what languages really means to you. I mean, like for me, it's just a tool. It's like a bridge. I want to learn different languages because I want to understand, I want to grasp the ideology, the philosophy, the culture, the history behind the language itself, behind the person or the nation that uses the language. That is why language is attractive to me. That is why I want to study different languages. This actually tastes good. Anyways, when you cease it, you're gonna see that, oh, I am learning the languages because I'm interested in what is beyond the languages. You know, if you're interested in language itself, like the grammar, the usage, the transformation, or the conjugation of it, it means that you're maybe interested in linguistics, but for me, nah. I think that when you understand what languages actually mean to you, and not just a subject that you want to study just for the score, for the grade, you will truly see the power, the charm of languages. At the same time, when you actually realize the meaning, your concept, your mindset of language learning will be changed too. I regard all activities related to languages as learning itself. American soap operas, books, music, no matter what form it is, as long as it's related to languages, it's a learning process for me. Imitating the slang intonation of people speaking in TV series. Lifecraft.
Way to infuse her life with a little excitement.
Infuse her life.
But now,
Infuse her life with a little excitement.
Or learning the writing style and language expression in novels.
This is the notebook that I use to take down some phrases that I really like in novels. This is The Giver and Gathering Blue, Messenger. Here's this for The Sun that I still haven't finished yet, and here is When Breath Becomes Air. Voila.
Or learning the sound reduction and simple expression in music. This is how you make your languages sound more idiomatic. For example, reading, whether it's novel, literature, or maybe classics or academic books, as long as it's in English, it's a learning process for me. Memorization of the vocabulary, the exercise, the boring exercises you guys often do while learning languages. This is, of course, the process of learning, but this way of learning, it's not only like extremely boring, but in a very restricted and single form, like with limited content. You don't really get a really huge improvement on overall ability just by memorizing the vocabulary and doing boring exercises. And it also kills the fun. It's necessary to learn to find different ways to broaden the way of learning English. There are so many useful apps in the app stores that we can actually take good use of. Like, for example, I'm using an app called Cheese by English, which will send different listening content every day, one material in the morning and one material in the evening. In the morning is more like academic things, and in the evening it's more like soap operas and stuff. I really like the materials they send at night because I think soap opera are a really excellent way to exercise your localized languages and stuff. I can actually practice it on fragment time every day. I usually do it between classes or on the way to school, which is about like 5 minutes or something. Recently, they also offered listening courses for 6 yuan, which I find very interesting. It teaches a lot of language skills like rhythm division, which is very helpful with listening and speaking. The course materials covered from radio to movies and news, in which I particularly like The Little Prince.
Why are you so different to all the others?
After listening, it also involves word repetition and oral practice, which is very necessary for language learning. As a multilingual speaker, I believe that listening, speaking, reading, and writing cannot be separated in the process of language learning.
Social media is also something that we can actually take advantage of. There are many useful videos on YouTube or on Bilibili that we can use to practice our listening or practice our oral. Here I'm using videos on Bilibili to practice my listening and dictation. You can find the videos or a movie. Here I'm using Tutopia to do listening or dictation. Basically, I will listen to every phrase they say and then take a pause to write them down and check with the subtitle to see if I had written anything wrong.
So as a French major student, I definitely need to pay most of them. I definitely need to pay most of my attention on French. So the biggest feature of my current English learning is fragmentation. I take advantage in all of the fragmented time to study English so that I can leave the main, the continuous and the large chunk of time to focus only on French. For example, on the way to my tutoring, I can grab an English book and read on the way. It's about 2 hours on the road, back and forth. I can have a really long time and immersed time of English learning, English reading. There are also many breaks between classes and maybe some class that I don't really care, which is not very good, but still, I take advantage of those fragmented time. So recently I've been reading a book called Son of Lois Lowry. This is actually not the first time that I recommend Lois Lowry. Her books are honestly an excellent choice for adolescents, for young adults, to who want to expand their vocabulary while having a fun time reading English. So last month I also read a book called When Breath Becomes Air, but this one is relatively more difficult because it has the larger vocabulary. So I suggest some of you who has higher level to read it. I think reading is a very important way of language learning. You should learn for the reading's sake instead of reading for the learning's sake. Don't search a word you don't know once you see it, but instead you can guess the meaning of it from the paragraph, and gradually you will understand what it means. I think for me is that if you read the enough amount of books, then you don't have to be worrying about, oh, what if I didn't remember the word that I don't know in this paragraph? What if I didn't learn anything? I didn't take the notes of a word that I don't know. For me, it's never the issue. For me, if you read enough amount of the books, then you will definitely make great progress. When you practice your learning skill in the languages, knowing what words correspond to what you hear and being able to say what you hear is actually very, very important in language learning. And it's actually learning the language instead of, we say deaf English or dumb English or something like that. It's not that. When I work as a tutor in kids' families, I found that many parents actually have no concept of language learning. For me, many ways are learning, and these ways of learning can make learning more interesting and improve the ability of languages in a more comprehensive way. But parents are always too focused on the result, always eager for the final success, and making the form of learning very limited. Many people may think that the kind of learning I'm talking about, like music, novels, or whatever, it's not serious, it's not useful. But I have always been learning languages this way. Ever since I was a kid, I studied English by cartoon, by picture books, by a lot of interesting forms like that. And nowadays, I think I have the confidence to tell you that I am good with English. And this way actually works. I think no one would dare to say that I am bad in English or I am not good at English. I think nobody would think like that. I think I have the confidence to say that. So I think from my point of view, my ways works. It's not only fun, interesting, and colorful while learning languages, but also effective. But of course, study methods like expanding vocabulary, like memorizing vocabulary, or exam exercise, those more exams-oriented learning method is also really necessary before exams. This is mainly in order to let you master the exam question, the exam type, like the type of different questions, different problem. So I guess what I want to express in this video is mainly that we should seize all the available time to learn languages and seize all the available way to learn languages. Languages should not be boring, should not be limited, and we should enjoy the languages, enjoy the language itself, and what is beyond the language itself, like the history, the culture, the philosophy, the ideology behind it. Enjoy the process of learning languages. Enjoy its charm and diversity. Just figure out what languages actually mean to you, what the charm actually is. I think this is my secret to learn a language. This is my secret to make your language better.